Hello. Today I'm going to do a review on this thing. The NetVue Vigil camera, security camera. I'm not going to do a whole unboxing, thing about it. I'm just sort of going to dive straight in, really. So this is the NetVue Vigil camera. It's a fairly solid thing. It's metal bodied. It's got a little rain shield on top of it. And I'll go through the connections. So here you have a network connection. This one, 12 volt power. This thing, just a button so that you can set the Wi-Fi code on it. The button has a little cover to make it sort of ish waterproof. There isn't much waterproofing on the other ones. And between them, that is what you're going to have to get through a wall. So that is quite a huge, probably 40 mil. I mean, you could squeeze that one through first maybe, and then try and get those ones through afterwards. But I'd say you still need at least 25 mil, maybe 30 mil in order to do that. Either that, or you've got to get a 12 volt cable out through a wall and an Ethernet cable out through a wall, and probably crimp a network cable, a network plug on the end of it, which might be a better way of doing it, because then you've got two 8mm cables or smaller in order to get through the wall. So that's it in a nutshell. It comes with a power supply, obviously, and then on to the next bit. Okay, so I have connected up the 12 volt, and to start with we're going to do the Wi-Fi setup and try that, see how it goes. So I've already got one set up in the system, but I'm going to add a new one. So I've downloaded the NetVue app, and obviously I've registered for the NetVue, registered in the NetVue app. So it's an outdoor camera, it's a Vigil camera, and it says scan QR code. Okay, so let's scan the QR code. Vigil cam, it found it, lovely. Set up device. Wi-Fi connection. Antenna installed. Yep, antenna's installed. Router is close. Yep, the router is close. Power connected. Yep, power's connected. Connect Wi-Fi. Connect Wi-Fi. Is the green light flashing? No, green light's not flashing. Press the Wi-Fi connection button, which I've done. Is the green light flashing? That's a flashing green light. Green light flashing? Yes, yep. Select a method of setup. QR code. No, what's generate QR code? Generate QR code. I presume, yeah, I heard a ding dong. Waiting for device to connect to your account. Bind succeeded. Installation complete. Okay, now I'm going to call this one, these are the ones I had before, so, well, I won't, I'll have a customize. So I'm going to call this back garden. Done. Okay. And there you are. I have my two cameras now connected. And this one, of course, is inside. So Turn off the audio. It has audio. There I am. Colours, yeah, not wonderful, but it is inside and it's meant for outside, so not particularly worried about that at the moment. Right, so that is Wi-Fi connection. Now, I don't want it to be Wi-Fi connection, I want it to be a wired connection. So how easy is it to change over to wired connection? Let's give it a go. Let me plug in a network cable. So now I'm going to try and set it up on a network cable. So I'm just going to actually delete this one. Delete the device. And then I'll re-add it. So outdoor camera, Vigil cam. Do I want to play the video? Not really, no. Scan the QR code. Align the device. There you are, set up device. Wired network connection. Is power and Ethernet connected? It certainly is. Waiting for the device to connect. Bind device to your account. Bind succeeded. So nice and easy. Okay, installation completed. And customize back garden. I'll delete it again so it doesn't matter if I don't put it in caps. Okay. There we are. Camera is set up. So the next thing is that we obviously want to have a look at them. So this is the back garden. It's got a loudspeaker microphone built into it, and obviously you can see I'm having works done in the back garden at the moment. Turn it that way and you will get the full picture from it, but I've cropped that pip so you won't see the full image. So let's turn it back, and I can hold to speak and I can talk to people that are outside if I wish to. The speaker isn't particularly loud, but it's, you know, it'd be okay if they were close to it. So next, let's go on to its integration with smart home things. I'm not going to say her name because my one's female, and she will definitely listen to me if I do. So I've obviously added in a new one. It's called Back Garden. So let's try it out. Alexa, show the back garden.
Okay. Sorry, something's wrong. To control back garden, try disabling the skill and then re-enabling it from your Alexa app.
Okay. So into the Alexa app. Let's go for skills. My skills. NetVue. Disable skill. Let's just check because there seem to be two there for some reason. NetVue live video. Camera and doorbell with Alexa. So that's the one. Disable skill. Disable. Right, I have disabled it. Let's enable it again then. Right, so off camera to put in my password. Okay, so let's authorize that. Excellent. Successfully linked. Discover devices. All right. Okay, so to go back into my NetVue app, it found gate, but it didn't find back garden. And back garden is obviously the one I've just set up. Turn off the speaker, microphone rather. So the times I've tried this, every single time it has been flaky to say the least. Whether or not it finds a device, doesn't find a device. So let's go into Madam again. And let's just look for devices. See, it finds the back garden device in there, but for some reason it can't link it to the NetVue app, even though it's a NetVue product. So you can see you've seen the gate one has linked through the NetVue app. So let's try something again. Alexa, show gate.
Okay.
Okay, so Alexa is showing the gate.
Sorry, I'm not sure about that.
I never am. But as you can see, when it does show the gate, quite often it'll buffer. And you see those insects flying around it, because it's got nice red lights there. They quite often trip the motion sensors. And because you haven't paid for, or I certainly haven't paid for detecting humans only, I'd probably get 40 or 50 motion sensor alerts a night, which means that I turn them off. And if you turn them off, of course, that means that you wouldn't catch somebody doing anything in the act, which negates most of the purpose of having a camera for me. What I want is reliable alerts that will oh, there it buffers again, look, that will tell me that a burglar is actually coming into my house. So would I say this is a decent camera? I think the picture quality is amazing. I really do. And I think the nighttime view is very, very good. I think the colour rendition is pretty good. I think that if a burglar did come in, then would I be able to recognise their face? I've been outside and I can recognise it's me. But this just shows you that it needs a lot of work. I would much rather pay £100 for a camera that I can link to my own system than I would one that has to go into their cloud and I have to pay a subscription for. Because it has to go into their cloud, I'm sure this is a lot of the buffering problem, because it's not just running locally, it's got to go up to their system and then come back down to their system. I don't know why I'm still showing you the buffering. So, yeah, my conclusion about this camera is that I don't want something that goes up to the cloud that then has to be dragged back down from the cloud to your Madam's app, because it does buffer. And I want something that I can store locally on my system rather than is stored in the cloud that I have to pay a lot of money every month for. That seems frankly, well, it seems like a rip-off to me. And when you look at the things that, like their forum, for instance, go on the NetVue forum, and all the questions are, when are you going to bring out a PC app for it? so that we can see it on a PC rather than seeing it on a smart home system. And they just say, oh yes, we'll look into that. Oh yes, we'll look into that. Well, they've been, oh yes, they'll look into that for over 2 years, and it hasn't happened, and it isn't going to happen. Their model is that they want to charge for subscriptions, and they want to charge a monthly fee. The cost of the camera is £39. Is cheap. It's as cheap as anything, and they probably actually make a loss on them. You know, they're a proper metal-bodied. You know, they're not a bad camera at all, and they probably make a loss on the manufacture of these cameras. But I would much rather pay £100 for the camera and not have to pay for a subscription and have a PC app, which means I can store that on a hard disk. I can put it into a security recording system if I wanted to. The other thing that really annoys me is this. Okay, so let's go in and have a look at this. £40, great. 2,277 ratings, 4.5 stars. Great. Amazon's Choice look. Amazon Choice recommends highly rated and well-priced products. So Amazon recommend this thing, and actually they do occasionally do promotions on it as well. And bearing in mind, as we've seen, it often is flaky with Amazon's own ecosystem. I find that slightly odd, but, you know, that's up to them. So let's look at the ratings. Which, of course, it didn't take you to ratings, but there we are. 5 stars. June 2018. 5 stars. 19th of April 2019. 5 stars. 26th of December 2018. 5 stars. 29th of October 2018. So you look at this and you think, it's got 5 stars. Everyone's it's excellent. It must be brilliant because everybody is saying that it's a good camera. It's got, you know, they've got several of these. It just gets better and better. Blah 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 blah. Let's have a look then at all reviews. Five stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars, 5 stars. It must be a brilliant camera, mustn't it? Must be fantastic, this camera. So let's go back up to the reviews, and let's look at the 1 stars, 5% of them. Okay, you'll notice that these are 2019 and 2020, not the 2018s and the 2019s, where it was all 5 stars. Okay, let's look at 2 stars. 2020, 2020, 2019, September 2019, December 2019, 2020, 2020, 2019, 2020. So, what conclusions can you draw from this? Well, my conclusion is that Amazon are deliberately, when they're putting their reviews out, putting out the old ones. I can't conclude anything else. Why would you? Why would you put only the 5-star reviews up there that are old, and not the newer reviews that aren't so good? Why wouldn't you just put the reviews as they come in and have been verified, so that the newest are on top? And I think it's because either NetVue are paying Amazon to sell it, or Amazon want to sell it because it's part of their ecosystem, even though it doesn't work very well as part of their ecosystem. So would I buy this camera? Absolutely not. I won't buy this camera until I'm sure that actually I'm not getting conned, because I think, looking at this, I'm getting conned. And Amazon, you really need to make sure that the reviews are in date order, not the reviews that you want to show to people, not the ones that so that you can flog more equipment out there. Show the reviews as they come in. One thing they did do, it looks like from the research I've done, it looks like they used to have an app on a computer so that you could view it on a computer, which means you could record it on a computer. But it looks like they stopped supplying that, and they deleted that app, and they just made it so that you can only view it on a phone or on a smart home system. I don't want to view it on a smart home system. I want something that I can look back at on a computer, play it back on a big screen, not a tiny little screen. And not only that, how do you get that to the police? You just give them your phone and say, there you are, look how wonderful that picture is of Mr. Robber that's come into my place. No, I want to download a video and I want to be able to give that to the police on a thumb drive and say, there you are, go and arrest them, please. My big recommendation is do not buy this product unless you want to pay the money for the subscription. You want a reasonably easy thing to install. It's easy to get up and set up and running on the app. No qualms about that at all. I did have one or two problems when I originally tried to set it up, but it took 2 tries and then it worked. That's fine. I mean, all these things have a few minor issues, so not worried about that. So if you want to buy it, you want a simplish thing to set up, you're happy with it only looking at on a mobile phone, and you're happy paying the subscription, then I'd say fine, go ahead and buy it if that's what you're happy with. So let's go on to NetVue's website. So economy plan, $189 a year if you have 3 devices. Let's say you've got, one on your back gate, one in your back garden, one on your garage, one in your front garden, one in your garage, whatever. $189 a year. Personally, again, for me, I'd rather pay $100 or £100 per camera, and rather than $189 a year plus £40 per camera, than I would paying the subscription. Because if I pay £100 per camera, that's £300. £40 per camera, that's £300. So after a year, you've made your money. It will cost you the same in a year to buy the subscription and the cameras at £40 than it will to pay £100 per camera. So my suggestion would be go out and buy cameras that you can use in other systems. Buy an IP camera that you can drag into your computer, because most of those also have apps if that's what you want. If you want a simple thing that you can just see on your phone, then that's fine. And also, if you want to have the human detection, so that it only raises motion detections when somebody comes into your garden, then that was another additional $3.99 a month. So that's an additional cost that it will be. Otherwise, you will get lots and lots and lots of motion detection alerts all during the night. And there is a sensitivity button on it, and I've played extensively with the sensitivity thing. In fact, I'll plug it in and I'll show you. So as I say, I've played extensively with the sensitivity, and there is motion detection on there. If you turn motion detection on, you can increase and decrease the sensitivity. I have tried playing with that a lot on my camera that is installed outside, and I have never found a setting on there at any sensitivity that it works reliably and works when something large walks through the garden, whether that be a large dog or a human. I get motion alerts, as I say, all the time with just bugs flying around near it because it's got the red lights at night for the, for its infrared detection. And they trip the motion sensors all the time. If you turn it down low enough, then you don't get any motion detection at all. And there doesn't seem to be a sweet spot in there where it will work reliably and you only get motion detection when there is something big out there moving in your back garden. I hope this has been of help. I don't want to... No, actually, I do want to show the problems with this device. And the reason I want to show the problems with the device is mainly because of the completely biased information that you're given by Amazon. And I'm an Amazon user a lot. I'm a prime Amazon person. And obviously I use their ecosystem in my house. But I think this is really disingenuous and is a money-making thing by Amazon, and I don't like it at all. And just to show you on their system, whilst I've been talking to you, you can see the motions that it's captured. And yes, you can see I'm doing this really early in the morning because I couldn't sleep. So you can see that it's capturing the insect movements, not any people movements. That's just insect movements shining in the light as they fly past the camera. And you saw how low the sensitivity setting is. So, and if I turn it any lower, it just disappears. You don't get any motion detection at all. So, do I want to be woken up if this was me, and I had the alerts coming to my phone? Would I want to be woken up at 05:55 every morning? No, I really wouldn't want to be. Okay, so I didn't notice earlier in the morning, probably because I was tired, whilst I was doing the recording, but one of my fence panels had blown out, and actually it was shown on the Alexa app when I was showing that on the image, but I didn't notice it. So those motion alerts I showed earlier didn't actually capture a whole fence panel falling out and crashing to the floor. So it didn't notice a 6 foot wide, 6 foot high fence panel falling over. It did notice the leaf, it did notice the bug, but it didn't notice a fence panel. And that's because I had the sensitivity turned down, because I didn't want the 40 notifications during the night. And so it just shows you really can't trust the motion sensing on these cameras at all. In fact, I went outside, I put the panel back in. The bit of wood across the top had actually broken, so I then nailed on a new piece of wood across the top to strengthen it. And the motion sensing during the daylight as well didn't capture me at all repairing the fence panel or going out and picking it up and putting it back in place. But it will catch a leaf and it will catch a bug. That, I think, about says it all.